Welcome to the Fresno Football Club Match Day pregame show. This program is sponsored by Tioga Sequoia Brewing Company.
Happy St. Patrick's Day and welcome to Fresno FC Match Day, the Fox's official pregame show. I'm Nick King. I'll be here at the Fox Den at Tioga Sequoia Brewing Company for the next 31 weeks as we spend a half hour talking soccer before all 34 of FFC's games in the team's inaugural season. This first show will be a lot of introductions. It is a brand new team, a brand new managerial staff, and for the city of Fresno, it's a brand new foray into the world of professional soccer. So let's start with some basics for you, some nuts and bolts to learn about this organization and about this league. Fresno FC is playing in the USL, which is the United States' second division of professional soccer, one tier below the MLS. Professional is key. Players are paid. This is what they do for a living. It's not an amateur league, not a developmental league. So that's different than the Fuego, the Valley's long-standing amateur team, which is actually part of the FFC organization now, with a new name. Fresno FC U23s. Back to the USL, it's an ever-growing league. Doubled in size just since 2014. Now 33 teams split into two conferences. After a 34-game regular season that lasts from March into October, 16 teams make the USL playoffs, 8 from the Western Conference, 8 from the Eastern. The postseason culminates with the USL Cup. Fresno FC's mascot is the Fox, so you'll hear us call them the Foxes and also Los Zorros, Spanish for the Foxes. We will use those nicknames interchangeably. Our family of TV stations will broadcast each and every one of the Foxes games. Both tonight and next Saturday are on CW 59. The first road game, Wednesday the 28th in Seattle, you can watch on this TV 26.2. Then, back at home against OKC Energy the last Saturday of March, and at St. Louis FC the Saturday after that, those will both be back on CW 59. So now let's start introducing you to Fresno FC, beginning with principal owner Ray Beshoff. I recently sat down with Ray for about 40 minutes. This is part one of an excerpt of that interview. Ray was born in Dublin, Ireland, lived there the first 10 years of his life, then spent age 10 to 20 in Liverpool, England. When you think about your childhood, do you think more about Dublin or do you think about Liverpool?
I think about both. I'm kind of a mongrel. That's what they call me in England, a mongrel, you know. You don't know whether you're Irish or English. If I go back to Ireland and I spend 2 or 3 weeks in Ireland, I become a complete Irish guy. My accent changes and I revert back to being Irish. And then when I go to Liverpool, I revert to being a Liverpool Scouser, they call Liverpool people. If I'm there for 3 or 4 weeks, it's amazing how you kind of pick up on the dialect so quickly.
Can you give me a strong version of the Irish accent?
Well, I can speak Gaelic, Shade of Arawera, Tón on the Gosta, Tón to the lads, Gaelic, and Scouse is Scouse. All right there, mate, how are you? It's a very nasally sort of accent.
What did you say in Gaelic there?
Hail Mary. They taught us that at school. Everyone had to learn the Hail Mary, so that was that.
Let's say from kind of 15 to 20, what were you into, what were you doing?
I was actually a fairly good rugby player. I actually ended up leaving Liverpool, went to Newcastle, and I went to Newcastle for a year where I played rugby, and then a mate of mine suggested that we go around Europe, so we took 2 years off, went around Europe, and we just toured and went to all the different countries. We felt we were just too young to sort of settle down. And then I actually met my wife in that trip. I met her on the beach in Greece, and she said, "Come on over to America and visit." And so I came over probably 40 years ago now, and been here ever since.
Really?
Yes.
So your wife was from where?
California, Southern California.
She was vacationing in Greece.
Yeah, with a girlfriend of hers. And I was like a hippie. I had hair down here. We were driving a Volkswagen bus, and we were kind of just wild 20-year-olds, you know? It was fun.
What do you remember about the first time that you came and visited her? It was in California?
Yeah. I was actually a little bit nervous about coming to America. We had this vision of America being this huge, massive, maybe a lot of violence, and so there was a bit of trepidation coming over here. But I arrived at LAX, and she picked me up, and she was renting a place in Newport Beach, which is pretty cool. So I woke up, near the beach in California. Coming from Liverpool, that's a pretty severe, difference. So it was cool. I really enjoyed myself down there. My father died actually. I actually came to America, and then my father died 3 weeks after I'd been here. So I went back for the funeral, and then that really sort of made me feel, what am I going to do in life? I was just at that stage when you're trying to decide what your career is going to be. So I thought America seemed great. I met some great people. I thought it was a land of opportunity. So I just, got a job in a car dealership selling cars, and I kind of worked my way up the ladder, and, eventually came to this spot,
Long story short.
Yeah, very long story short. No, but America is that it gives you opportunity, and so I really did work hard when I came over here. I worked really hard, and I saved some money. I made a couple of grand a month, and I was just working. I saved a little bit, and then we got married. I bought a house, and just kind of worked my way up, and got a bit of luck on the way, maybe a little bit of skill, and that was it.
How many dealerships did you end up working at?
I worked at 3 dealerships, and I ended up at the House of Imports, which was a Mercedes dealership it's right between LA and Orange County. And the guy who owned that dealership was an Irish guy, and so I naturally had a nice rapport with him, and I just got promoted every few years, and I eventually became the general manager, and then I became the part owner. And then we sold that company to a public company, and that enabled me to get my own dealership in San Jose. And then I had the opportunity. Mercedes came to me and said, would you consider buying the Mercedes store in Fresno? It was owned by a public company. So I said, I don't really know anything about Fresno. They said, it's only a 2-hour drive from where you're at right now. We think you'd be the perfect guy to come in there and just make that store really good. So I came out and met Scott Beal, who's my partner, and eventually, ended up buying that store. And that was actually led me to the soccer, because when I was out here for the 2 days a week with the staff and just doing my meetings, I noticed there was no professional sports in Fresno. I kind of always thought, it's a bit off they don't have any professional sports. It's a big city, and I noticed that the fans were going to, San Francisco, and they're going to LA to support the teams. And I said, well, why don't they have their own team?
All season long, we also want to showcase the pictures and videos that you guys are getting at matches, before matches, and after matches. And we'll do that by looking for social media posts with the hashtags SomosZorros, and also Built for Fresno and We Are Foxes.
The Fresno Football Club Match Day pregame show. We'll be right back after these short messages. Welcome back to the Fresno Football Club Match Day pregame show. This program is sponsored by Tioga Sequoia Brewing Company.
We now have Fresno FC General Manager Frank Yallop with us. Frank, the longtime great player, great coach, first foray into general managing. What made you want to do it?
I think the opportunity to do this. I mean, I'll go back to when I met Ray Bischoff, he's the principal owner. In 2001, we've become very close friends, if not best friends, and he's had this dream for the last sort of 5 years in Fresno of, buying a soccer team, and I think his long-term dream was for me to come and be part of it somehow. So that's worked out now. So I got the opportunity sort of 9 or 10 months ago when he said, look, I'm going to do this. Would you be interested in doing it with me? And I couldn't think of a better guy to do it with. And I think that, Fresno's very going to be very pleased to have Ray as their owner of the soccer team, or the football team, as we say. And me being part of it is just a big bonus for me, and I'm very happy right now.
So he's been thinking about this for a while. The first time or a couple times that you heard him bring up this idea that he had, was your reaction? Were you interested from the jump?
Yes, because I've known Jeremy Schultz. I think 2010 we first met when I come over, brought my team over in the preseason game, San Jose Earthquakes, and I was very impressed with the setup, the professionalism that Jeremy showed and what he was trying to do with football. And yes, it's Fuego, and yes, it's PDL, but I felt that he had a good standard, So that's stuck in my mind.
There are a lot of aspects off the field that I'm sure you weren't quite prepared for.
Quite a few.
What's been the biggest challenge off the field?
Well, basically, I've seen 2 practices so far. So, but it's it's the right things we're doing. We're trying to build the team from the obviously office staff. We had to get the office staff in. We had to start building our fan base, season tickets, sponsorship. Making sure the venue's correct, all those things that come into it. You think, you click your fingers, it's going to work. Sorry, folks, it doesn't work that way. So we've worked very hard to get where we're at. I feel really good about the product. We've got a good team. I think we look good in our gear. I think the guys are starting to get around the Fresno itself and starting to get familiar with the city. And I think this city itself is going to really follow and love the players and love the team. And I think that was the big pull for me. I think that it is a soccer town, and I think that we're here, we're professional, and we're here to stay. So it's fantastic, really. You
brought these players in. What do you want to see from them in year one?
Well, anytime you set up anything, you want to be successful. So I don't see anything different from making the playoffs and winning it all. That's the aim. Yes, it's 20 or 23 or 24 new guys put together. There's no continuity yet. They're starting to know each other. They've only been training 6 weeks. We'll figure it out as we go along. But I feel, we had a great dinner. Actually, Ray brought all the players dinner last night and the staff. And what we said to them is just give 100%. And I think that your talent will come through in the end. But if you've got to give 100%, not just to yourselves, your teammates, but it's to the city, because this city will follow you if you give heart and soul. And I think that's important for their players to know that. And I feel that that's what we're going to show on the field. You can't win every game, because that's a difficult thing. It's a tough league. But I feel if we show what we're made of and really try to entertain our home fans, I think we're going to be fine.
It is a new thing for this city to have a professional team. What's kind of the biggest thing that you want to impress upon people that they understand about this league and about this level?
Well, and I just go back to last year. I think it was up to 28 full internationals played in the league. Played in the Gold Cup, played for the countries. I think 5 years ago it was 2 or 3. So it shows the quality of players we have in the league now. I just seen a massive growth in this league on talent-wise and fan base in the last 5 years. It's just gone crazy. The big thing is, we start in March and we end in November. And the guys are here the whole year round. We've got a couple of months off here and there. But in general, these players are here to stay, and this is their team. This is the Fresno's team.
Okay, and a quick reminder, we're looking for those social media posts with the hashtag SomosZorros, Built for Fresno, and We Are Foxes. We'll be using those to show these kinds of pictures and videos as we head into each commercial break.
The Fresno Football Club Matchday pregame show will be right back after these short messages. Welcome back to the Fresno Football Club Matchday pregame show. This program is sponsored by Tioga Sequoia Brewing Company.
Okay, time now to introduce you to the head coach of Fresno FC, the first head coach, Adam Smith. Adam, coming from Sacramento Republic, what made you want to come down here?
Number of things. Obviously, the opportunity to be a head coach, because that doesn't come around very often. Sometimes it will never come around in somebody's career. So I was very, very fortunate to have that opportunity. Frank Yallop, the general manager, was a huge impact in the decision-making process. He was the one that obviously interviewed me initially, and then got the opportunity to meet the owner, Ray Beshoff, and having those two guys and seeing what the club was all about.
What is it about Frank and even Ray that kind of drew you in?
Obviously, Ray's been a very successful businessman. He's a very nice gentleman as well. Come from a somewhat similar background. He lived in Liverpool as a youngster in England, and my family background's from there as well. And with Frank, I've obviously known Frank through the game. Tremendous character in the game, and I think it's really important. There are a lot of good soccer clubs, professional teams in this country, and they don't necessarily have any leadership that has a soccer background, has a football background. So having Frank, who has that, and is somebody that I can lean on, I think is kind of a dream come true, and he's brilliant.
And so you do understand the USL, you know the league well. With the roster that you guys have, you know, as an expansion team, or how well will you guys be able to compete, do you think, in year one?
Compete is a great word, because we will compete, that is for sure. What we're going to do and how well we're going to do, I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, and they're human beings. The other teams that we're playing against are trying to do the same things, and the other coaches are trying to do the same things. But I saw enough in the first 45 minutes of the LA Galaxy preseason game to know that we have a good squad, and to know that we have a good group of guys that will be able to compete. We've got some good experience in the team, combined with some youth as well, and I don't think we should fear any opposition. There's still one or two pieces missing that you would expect in an expansion team. You're not going to have everything perfect straight away. There's a lot of guys that you've just put together, and you don't know how they're going to gel and mix until you have the chance to work with them. The last 6 weeks have been brilliant. We've got a great rapport in the locker room. There's a lot of energy. There's going to be, you know, tweaks along the way, and hopefully we'll get the opportunity to bring those one or two pieces in to get a really strong squad and be able to compete, you know, even better.
I'm sure it won't all be about the scoreboard, but this first game, even the first couple of weeks, what really are you going to be looking for to see out of your team?
We've used the word compete, and that's definitely what I want. If they go out there and they give me 110% every week, and they're prepared to fight for me and for the staff and for the organisation and for each other, then I won't have any complaints. What I'm looking for from them is that spirit, that determination, that never say die attitude. Don't want to be cliche, but if they stick to the plan that's been given to them, they stick to their individual roles and responsibilities and their collective roles and responsibilities, that we have good team shape, that we're very dangerous when we break, when we're creative when we break. Set plays are going to be a key factor as well, making sure that we do our jobs. If we do all of those things, which I'm constantly, you know, reminding them in training, then it'll give us a chance.
All right, time now to meet another one of the Foxes. We got Ronnie Argueta here, center midfielder. Ronnie grew up in Orange County. Can you tell me about your earliest soccer memories?
My earliest soccer memories, so I used to play, it's kind of like Sunday league for kids. I used to play at this high school in Santa Ana, California called Fitz Falcon. And yeah, man, that was probably one of the best times, you know, as a child, just doing what you love, no worries, you know, so yeah.
Is there a guy on the team that you would not want to go on a road trip with?
I'd say Roberto Navarro, Beto Navarro. His farts are the worst, dude. Like,
his thoughts?
His farts.
His farts. Good.
Yo, like, yeah, I wouldn't be able to handle it. Like, I'd just be like, dude.
What's your favorite all-time movie?
Favorite all-time movie? That's a great question. I'm gonna go with Good Will Hunting. Yeah, classic. And I like the storyline, and you know how he starts off from, you know, nothing, and just dude's a genius. So I love it.
How about them apples?
Yeah.
What is an off-the-field passion of yours, or a secret talent of yours?
Oh man, off-the-field passion. I think I'm a good singer. I think I'm a great singer. My girlfriend doesn't think that.
Does anyone else think you're a great singer?
Not that I know of, but deep down inside, I believe it. So that's all that counts, right?
I agree with you.
In the shower, especially in the shower, dude.
Yeah. Woo. Everything sounds good.
It sounds great, yeah.
Let's say we're going to sing karaoke. What's your go-to?
The go-to karaoke, Vicente Fernandez, El Rey.
Can you want to give us a sample of it?
Yeah, of course. Con dinero y sin dinero, yo hago siempre lo que quiero, y mi palabra es la ley. No tengo trono ni reina, ni nadie que me comprenda, pero sigo siendo el rey. That was it.
We need to talk to your girlfriend. She's got to respect that. perfect meal. You're sitting down to dinner, either someone's making it, you're going to a restaurant, what are you eating?
Perfect meal. Oh man, I'd say, you know, it's simple, just some beans, some rice, some fried plantains, some fish, maybe some chicken, piece of meat, a little salad or some vegetables on there, and simple but good.
And that is Fresno FC Match Day. Thanks for bearing with us. This was our first show. It will only get better. We leave you now with the birth of Los Zorros. Enjoy the game.
Have I ever told you the legend of Los Zorros? It is a legend, not of size or strength, of fury or fire, but one of speed, cunning, and of sheer will. Born to thrive, fearless in battle, always quicker, always smarter, always winning. So tell me, do you have what it takes to become